painting her.
Do you want me to get pregnant so you can paint my belly?
I'm just saying. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
We might cut this out just so that...
Yeah, I know.
Anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Love Life Hacks with these two, Tracey Love and Chris Silver.
Tracey, can you hear me?
Tracey, can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, Papa. Okay. I don't know why that was so sexy. It's just so classy.
You just love everything I do? Wow.
I love so many things. There's so, everything. Of course.
Gossip about that with someone else. There's another episode about gossip. Check it out sometime.
We're talking about making art out of your relationship. How to turn your relationship into art worthy of sharing with the world or just sharing with each other.
Okay.
That part. I love making art. Absolutely. 10 out of 10 would do it again. Recommend it for everyone. Get paint under your nails. Don't judge what you're doing. Just create. It is so beneficial for our soul, for our spirit, and when you do it with your partner, I don't know if this is scientifically proven, but I'm gonna go on record and say it is. It brings you closer. Creating anything brings people closer. I just think it's so important for us to create art out of our relationships. When we go to create art, we are non-judgmental, we are giving, we are creating, we are not holding ourselves back, and we're going to hopefully display our art somewhere. I believe that's what we should do with our relationships. We should be giving, we should be creating, we should be non-judgmental, we should not be holding ourselves back, and we should display our relationship. I think we should sculpt and paint our relationship however we want. I think we should add and take away whenever we want. And I think we should be proud of what we are creating. This comes from our pottery date. We've been going on Love Life Hacks date nights.
Amen.
And we went on a pottery making date to All Fired Up in Alpharetta.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout
out.
Really sweet people.
Beautiful. Such a helpful staff. And when you leave your pottery there for 3 months, they take such great care of it.
No, they did. Like, they really dug deep to find our pieces. They did.
And they remembered our pieces.
Really sweet.
It's such a great group. We'll show little videos and pictures of our artwork now. Ding. Anyway. But while we were there, I absolutely loved making my clay piece. You painted yours.
Yes.
You found a house that was already made and you painted it.
Yeah, because I have this dream of living in a very colorful house. Because I love houses in the Caribbean and like especially on the islands, but also in African countries that I've been to and other places. Like I just love when houses are many different colors.
Oh my God.
And so I painted a house because they had a little house there, and it's like also a light. You could put a tea light in there. And that was my thing. Whereas my lovely wife actually made a piece, as you can see in the video.
I'm going to cry though, because I love, for these last few days, I have loved looking at this little yellow house and manifesting it.
And it was fun because I literally hadn't painted in ages. I love doing that sometimes with our daughter. And yeah, we want to talk about in a relationship, like it may be, like for me, it was uncomfortable at first because I was like, I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is such a great thing we can do together. It's
like
fun.
the Von Trapps, The Sound of Music. Anyway, thank you.
I wrote a movie about the Von Trapps.
Called The Von Trapps.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and you did it before with your family too. You invited your mother, your father.
Yeah,
right?
we
your
all went out for, we saw nieces, nephew.
Yeah. And you all sat together.
We had a giant table at All Fired Up, and we all created our little pieces or painted, and it was just such a wonderful moment of fellowship that was just so different for us. That was the first time we've ever done that. And everyone, 90-something-year-old grandma was in there making her gingerbread boy, not gingerbread man. She made a gingerbread boy. Anyway, the distinction must be made. And then when I went back with you, because I saw how powerful and beneficial that was, I was like, oh, we need to go back for a date night and create some pottery and just focus on the what?
I'm just remembering what they called the gingerbread boy, because they put names on every piece.
Oh yeah, what did they call it?
They called Grandma's gingerbread boy the flat bear.
Yes, that's true.
Can we celebrate that?
And mine is called the Ohm Bowl, but there's something else about it. Not red Ohm Bowl.
The Ohm Bowl, wasn't it something else?
Yeah, there's some word in front of Ohm Bowl, something Ohm Bowl.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Inspired by sea creatures, pretty much.
Yeah.
I felt like I wanted like an oyster or mussel or something. Like you could find a pearl inside of it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It was so powerful. I'm so glad that you and I got to go back. And now you made this beautiful piece for us to manifest. So I picture that little house on a beach right now. Mm-hmm. And you did that for us.
I did that, yeah. Because it's a house that we're manifesting one day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have the little Ohm symbol on my vacation Ohm. I have the Ohm symbol on my clay bowl. Because I'm all about peace and harmony and balance, and the spirit of Ohm is all around us. And I have this tattoo right here on the back of my neck. Depending on what the back of my neck looks like, I may or may not show it that part of the video.
When you're creating something, it's never just for you. Like when I'm making art, right? Like this little house and your beautiful Ohm shell are now in the house, and they're beautiful to look at. And they're giving us joy. And in the same way, a relationship, whether you want it or not, it will have an effect on the people around you. Mm-hmm. Like the way your relationship is, the colors, the spice, the sounds,
the
and
scent,
atmosphere,
the
and
words,
scent of your relationship will
the actions
affect people around you. So asking yourself, almost like an artist, what are we painting? What piece of art are we making for the world in this relationship that we share? How does that inspire other people to even just to say, oh, this is possible. I can have that too. I've heard that from people before, and I love when people say that to me. When they're like, seeing you with your relationship makes me feel it's possible for me.
Amen.
Beautiful thing.
Because, hello, let's talk about it. Before you and I started dating, I saw that in other relationships.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was possible for me because of other people's relationships.
Right. So
I can run down a list right now.
Yeah. So in that sense, I think there's a parallel to what we create as artists. I mean, when you and I write a movie script together, we're thinking about the audience and what it's going to do for them. What are they going to take away from it? Is it going to be entertaining? Is it going to be uplifting?
And sometimes the audience is just our children.
Right.
Sometimes the audience is just our household.
Right, or just our partner. Yeah, it's the first.
Or just our
audience.
partner.
Yeah.
What about the people who have no awareness of who have no awareness, or even if they are aware, they don't care about how they affect the world? What about the people who don't care about searching for a purpose, and they don't care about inspiring people?
I mean, right now, I just want to say, if you have no awareness, you have no business.
Oh, okay.
Of being in any relationship, but that's.
Oh.
I just had to let that out.
Okay. That was like a Johnny Cochran, Don King, only in America.
Being aware of the fact that we're all part of a bigger circulation is important, and is how can that affect our relationship in a positive way, or can it also be that I'm tired of other people? Like, for instance, we both know a couple that have expressed before, everything's great with us together or alone. It's just the problems begin when other people get involved, when we're around other people.
Yikes.
Just in the context of that, because I'm saying,
their
I
relationship
was
as
saying
art.
whether you like it or not, like even those two people are, whether they like it or not, affecting the people around them with their relationship.
Absolutely.
You can't just be on your own. There was a time when those two people took part in an event that was not about them, and they kind of, there was a lot of energy that was brought all over this event.
because of their interactions.
It was a family event. It was not about them.
Mm-hmm.
But since their relationship was
rocky,
kind of
tumultuous,
exhausting, the event became exhausting. The whole event got painted in that color. So I'm just saying, in the same way that you're creating art, it can also be negative. Like if I put posters on every street of like horrible images and I force you to see them, it's going to affect your day.
It is. Right? It's going to affect my commute to work for sure.
Yeah. Look, sometimes when I see people that have no awareness, like for instance, if two radical narcissists end up in a relationship together, I'm like, okay, cool. Because A, they're great for each other, and B, at least they don't fuck up other people's lives.
I know. That's what I say about crazy people. But, there's only room for one of us in a relationship. Right. I mean, what? Whoops. Do you think I'm a narcissist?
Uncomfortable silence. We are all narcissists to a degree, okay? So every personality trait.
We'll talk about that off camera.
Look, I believe, and I'm not the only one. Come on, I think everything that comes up as personality traits, we all have some of it. The question is, are we aware of it? How much do we have of it? How much do we allow to come to the forefront of our existence? We all also usually have something that's the strongest in us. Mm-hmm. Some people, and that's just how it is. And so, do we all have an ounce of narcissism? Yeah.
Okay. So
a little bit of narcissism can even be healthy. But to have that as your dominant personality trait, to be a narcissist and do everything in a narcissistic way, meaning you're always pissed off when it's not about you and you're making everything about you, that's toxic, manipulative, and exhausting for anybody else.
Do you think I have a dominant narcissism trait?
No, not at all, honey. Why
I was just checking. I was just checking. I was just checking in, because some people aren't aware at all.
I've been around that stuff my whole life, and no, you're not.
Okay. I mean, I didn't think so, but most narcissists.
But hey, you're giving us a good example of making sure, what colors am I putting out in the world? Let me be aware. Let me check in with myself sometimes. So, talking about the piece of art that we're creating, the beautiful piece, hopefully, that we're creating.
Well,
no, the thing is, no matter if it's beautiful or not, we're creating something.
We are creating something.
It's like,
and what was the
intention?
A movie.
Yeah. Is it a horror movie or is it
romantic comedy?
Yeah. Or whatever. I
had so much fun. I recommend going to some place like All Fired Up in Alpharetta.
Yeah. What I love about it, by the way, is when you're painting these pieces, they show you what the color is going to look like after it gets refined. Like
why is that important?
I find that such a beautiful image for life.
Yeah.
Because you're making something, but there's another process that happens.
Yeah, amen. Ooh.
That will refine it
when it gets all fired up.
Yeah, woo.
Just like our relationship. When you fire up that relationship, you can change the world. Get all fired up.
Well, but it's kind of like when you're putting an energy out in the world, you don't always know everything that comes back.
Right.
It's like, I'm giving love. I'm giving beautiful things. I'm giving generosity. I'm giving something to the world.
Yes.
I don't know in what form it'll come back to me.
Exactly.
So in the same way, when you finish painting your piece, it looks kind of pale. The colors are kind of not really there, right?
But they do
pale
have
is a good word
pale.
for that.
They're all kind of pale, yeah.
But then when you get it, finally, when they've done it in the oven and they've, whatever, they put
glazed
some kind of lacquer
in the kiln.
Glaze on it. And then when it comes back,
it's
like
rich.
The
tones are rich.
Deep and rich. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a fun analogy to
life and the process of life and sowing seeds and trusting the process.
Right, because it's trusting. They tell me the colors will look like that, but I can't see it while I'm doing it.
Right.
But I'm gonna, do my best.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, and do what I think is gonna look nice, and then
the powers of manifestation at its finest, right there. Because I'm going to pray for this thing in the future. I don't see it.
Right.
But my faith tells me that it's going to look like this in the future. So, amen. I'm going to keep going, fired up.
Yeah, and now these pieces have a place in our home. And
I'm going to paint my relationship in a way by opening up and being vulnerable and being honest and staying in my integrity with my partner. And I don't know what this is creating, but from the examples that I've seen, this is going to create a relationship that's rich and deep with meaning and connection.
Beautiful. And in any town, even small towns, wherever you live, there's usually near you a place where you can either do painting, pictures, or painting of pottery and stuff like that, or even making your own pottery. So I really recommend it. I have another thing, next level.
Yeah.
The other day, we both, me more than you maybe, but we like Mark Anthony, his music.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's a sweet guy. And so Mark was sharing a video the other day of his wife. She's pregnant, and he was painting her belly. So she's standing there, beautiful, and like it's like a very intimate and beautiful process. And he's painting her.
Do you want me to get pregnant so you can paint my belly?
I'm just saying. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. No, just generally, I'm saying, would it be fun as a next level to paint each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if you can't afford paint, grab a pen. Grab a permanent marker. It washes off. We have a teenager that lives in the house. Trust me, it washes off.
So our daughter likes to put little tags on us.
Artwork.
She likes to put a little smiley on my hand. She says,
or a heart.
Dad, when I'm going out, she wants to bless me with something. So she says, I'm putting a heart on you or a smiley.
Yeah.
And it's the sweetest thing.
It's precious.
How cool is it that my 14-year-old daughter feels comfortable enough with me to do that?
To draw on you. Yeah.
And so, Sharpie, not a big deal.
The world is a canvas, child. Paint to your heart's desire.
So we could just go online and find body paint. I think that would be a nice project for us next.
Done.
And we might share some videos of that too, of whatever is.
I have the clay molding. I have the molding kit at home that I purchased for our anniversary. We're supposed to mix it and make a cast of our hands holding hands, and then we fill it.
Let's do that too.
Done. Yeah. We're gonna do that.
There's also a mold
and then
of
we
your
can
whole
paint
body.
It. There is a mold of my whole body.
That?
No.
Wonderful. But there's a mold of my wife's body somewhere. I haven't seen it, but it exists.
It's like a Where's Waldo. We're gonna send people out on a scavenger hunt to go find the cast of my body somewhere. It's my head, my hands, and my feet.
Thing.
Anyway, so that was great. I love the idea of turning our relationships into artwork worthy of sharing with the world. Beauty is subjective. It doesn't matter if it's beautiful or not, but can you be proud of the relationship that you've created? I hope so.
Yeah, and as it turns out, and we found out in this conversation, your relationship is already artwork.
Amen. Chef's kiss. So, thank you for listening to another episode of Love Life Hacks. We love you. I'm your host, Tracey Love. This is my husband,
Chris Silber. Love your life, live your love. We love you. Until next time.
Amen. Bye. Was that so hard?
Maybe that's it. Love your life, live your love.
Love your life, live your